I gotta square away with you guys on this one. I got into some pretty weird Keith Moon action there for a while. That's why I'm sober now. You know, or whatever. Welcome to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is Colin, and next to me is the doctor himself.
Hello.
And as always, we're joined by our producer, Richard.
Ahoy, hoy.
I kept it together.
Each week, we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC comics and movies while fielding questions from listeners like you. Oh, right, that part.
Yep.
Well, I remember that in the Great Hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 4 greatest heroes created from the cosmic legends of the universe. Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Aquaman, and the 3 junior super friends, Wendy, Marvin, and Wonder Dog. Their mission? To fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
Super friends.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Justice.
I'm glad you got that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I'm trying to go with theme
It's
appropriate.
the only time Aquaman gets 4th billing.
Justice League.
Although now, actually, the new Justice League movie, I guess he does too. Yeah, that's true.
I don't think he'll ever get
And he really
less than
does get 4th billing in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the members of the Justice League, that makes sense.
Yeah, because Cyborg's underneath. And Flash.
Cyborg and Flash.
And Flash, yeah.
Well, Flash is also
I think ordinarily, if you were just like trying to like logically like name from most important league member down, be Flash 4th. But Jason Momoa is just too damn good looking.
It's true. It's true.
So you guys want to jump into the news, or do you want to jerk off over Jason Momoa's?
I mean, I'd appreciate a little bit more time.
Can't we do both?
Fine.
Here, you talk about the news.
Okay, fantastic. We'll do a mashup. Are you giving me miniature hand rounds of applause? Oh, no, God. Oh, God, no.
Not like that.
And in news, Titans Brenton Thwaites shares another Robin picture.
Yeah, so...
I thought that said Robin.
Brenton Thwaites.
I thought that said Robin
I know, it's
Pie.
such like a classy name.
Oh, who, me? Oh, my name is Brenton Thwaites.
The 4th.
Thwaites.
Yeah.
Thwaites for no
Because they made
man.
4 other Brenton Thwaites.
My great-grandfather was a Brenton Thwaite. No.
And he said, Thwaite for it.
Wait, is your son
Wait for it. Oh, damn it. Nice.
Oh, my son's also name is Board.
So Brenton Thwaites is the guy who was cast to play Dick Grayson on this live-action Titans series. And yeah, he I think it was on Twitter, tweeted out a couple of pictures of him in the Robin suit. Looks pretty cool.
It looks real dumb.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, no. Now I'm interested.
I love how you
like
said
about
that,
it?
too. You're like, it looks real dumb.
What don't you like about it?
For me, one, he looks.
You know what dumb means, right?
It's the thing that Colin is, right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Super amazing.
I just think it looks cheap and cheesy. Like that second photo that he has, like the close-up one is kind of cool. But that second one, I was like, oh, God. Like, I didn't realize what this guy looked like. And I just was like, oh, this is just a pretty guy in one, is a blonde Robin.
He's not blonde in that
He's
picture.
blonde. Looks kind of
Oh,
blonde.
I'm sorry, but you're okay with James Bond being blonde? How dare you fucking hypocrite?
James Bond has been blonde.
Nope, not in the original writings. He was always dark hair.
Yeah, but they made enough
You know how Colin weighs in on this. It's like, how was it in the literature?
Yeah, I read a book or two. Fuck yourselves.
Okay, well, that's interesting because as my initial sentence gave away, I actually thought that this costume looked pretty cool. It's relatively comics accurate.
Newer Robin.
More like comics-
like Titan.
More like Comic Sans, am I right?
No.
No?
Yeah, no, I actually,
Okay.
I was actually kind of impressed with it. I like that it's not just the like leather shirt and pants CW kind of style costume.
Oh, they didn't make him look like Jim Morrison?
You keep weighing in as if you're going to say something that makes sense.
Morrison.
And the drinking game begins.
Perfect.
Oh, okay. So this guy definitely is like dirty blonde hair, but he was actually like in that movie, that TV show, The Leftovers,
Right.
which was great. So, and he was great in that. So I do have hope, but that photo just kind of looked real dorky.
Really, you didn't like it, eh?
I mean, I guess it's comic appropriate.
Does it kind of look like a Walmart special for Halloween?
No, and like the close-up photo did look good. Like, I'll show it. I'll show it to you. I mean, you keep talking about what you feel about it, but
Well, no, I mean, I think I said what I felt about it. Is that like I like that it's comic accurate. I like that it's not just like that CW kind of style costume design. Not that I have a problem with the CW ones, but it's nice to see a slightly different approach.
The close-up looks good.
see,
It looks very like 90s though. Hey,
that's the problem with it.
it was like when we were kids and that Batman movie came out, and everyone had the little toy from McDonald's.
It does look a little like the sculpted rubber.
Yeah.
It reminds me of it's like if it's like this Three Ninjas version of Teen Titans. He's even got like the stick with him, like, and I'm just like, Robin has a stick? I didn't know. I don't ever remember Robin having a stick. Maybe I'm just like too Batman the Animated Series focused.
I mean, you've even played the Arkham games. Robin's got a staff in that.
Oh, I guess he does. I don't know. For some reason, this rubbed me the wrong way for whatever reason.
Yeah. Okay. Well, interesting. Well, this will be a source of tension moving forward.
Yes.
You can already feel the seams tearing.
The podcast is, this is it. This is the last episode.
You're listening to the end. But yeah,
This is how the band began to break up.
but I mean, really, like
This is
Robin.
the day the music died.
Robin is. Oh, buddy Holly. This
Big
is
bopper.
Robin is like the easiest costume to I think get out of the way on the show. The things I'm like waiting to see is like, how do they manage Starfire, whose hair is like literally kind of like fire sometimes? How do they manage Beast Boy with his like green skin and the transformations?
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff. I think I'm hoping that we'll see those things in the coming months. But the Robin one is like more is coming, but like this is the one we can send
this is
early
the
because like we've
safest
had this done for months.
This was the step one. Oh, this was a leftover from Batman and Robin. It's fine. We just changed a few pieces.
Yeah. You and Chris O'Donnell are the same size, right?
Give me a Chris O'Donnell type.
Brenton Thwaites does not wear hand-me-downs. Brenton Thwaites, if you're listening, I'm sorry that I'm making fun of you. Please be my friend.
It's true, though. I don't.
Oh, good. So the first trailer for Batman Ninja anime movie is released, and the new poster actually shows some classic heroes and villains.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch this trailer?
I didn't watch the trailer yet. I just saw the...
It is
Poster.
fucking crazy.
Really?
It looks awesome. I'm not a huge anime guy, like admittedly. I'm only just kind of getting into Death Note and stuff like that.
He's just in it for the lulls.
Edit point.
But
Oh, come on.
but this trailer, like, I'm very excited for this thing. It's all like samurai like style, like all the
It's so
costuming.
cool.
It's very like, yeah, it's really neat. Look, the animation looks incredible. There's like the Joker looks terrifying. Yeah, and you see like a bunch of different characters in that, and then they're also on the poster, like Colin said. I think Grodd is in this.
Really?
Yeah. Or I mean, I suppose it could be one of several gorilla characters that DC has, but Grodd seems like the most like natural assumption. But like Two-Face, Harley,
I'm watching it right now, and it's awesome.
right?
It's so cool. Like, their use of color and stuff is like... It's really good.
I mean, like Japanese animation can really knock it out of the park in terms of like movement as well. Like not just like camera movement, but also the way that like characters move across the frame. And so for something so like action oriented, like a superhero film, and I'm excited to see that. And it leans way heavier into the anime, like aesthetic than those Gotham Knight shorts did. The Gotham Knight shorts were like anime for Americans, and then like this is like full on.
Well, it's the same guy who did Afro Samurai, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the same character designer. Yeah.
Joker is kind of terrifying
Right?
looking, Like,
It's nuts. Yeah. So who knows? This might make an anime nerd out of me because I'm pretty hooked on this trailer.
it's pretty rad. I'm yeah, I'm definitely. I don't watch a lot. I do a lot of like the Miyazaki stuff, but beyond that, it's kind of let's like I and Cowboy Bebop and stuff. But there's not much else. So yeah, no, this looks awesome. I'm definitely going to get into this.
So Vic Stone goes out with a bang at new artist.
Yeah, poor Cyborg. We talked about Blue Beetle getting canceled last week, but Cyborg's also
They're just cleaning house right now.
Well, I mean, I've been following some tweets from other people who, you know, are fans of characters that are often the ones who, if they get a series, they'll maybe get like 10 to 20 issues and then they get canceled. It's one of those things where like there's just some characters just have limited sustaining capacity. So unless you're writing the best comic book ever written, which is, you know, like kind of what happened with Starman in the 90s, like that's not one I would have expected to do well. Mm-hmm. But it was so well written that it became this sort of, had this big following. But unless you're doing that, you can only get so much sales mileage out of them. There maybe is lots of story to be told, but it's hard to keep the sales up. And Cyborg's not done too badly. He's basically had 2 ongoing solo series in the last like 3 years. Mm-hmm. And those were the first ones he's ever had. And he's been around since the 80s. So I actually don't think that's a bad run. I think that's something to be pretty proud of. It shows that Cyborg has some, you know, like actual legs as a solo character. But yeah, so the last 2 issues are
they're not organic, but he's still got legs.
Yeah, that's right. Boom.
Well, you know what I would love to see somebody do a version of a Cyborg that's more like a Silicon Valley kind of Cyborg, like a modern day version of it, where it's more about like connection to like social media and like.
I mean, there's a little bit of that in him, in that he's like constantly connected to everything.
Yeah. I guess from what I've seen, little bits I've seen and stuff, I would love to do more of like, more of like a modern designed Cyborg, where, because like it still feels like this is what like a robot, like it looks like it from the 80s.
Yeah.
And
well, I was reading, I guess it was the first of the 2 Cyborg solo series, and that one went very like sci-fi with like aliens and things like that. And his tech had evolved a little bit so that he could mystique himself. He could make
really?
it look like he was human, even though he was synthetic.
Oh, that's cool.
I think that got like retconned out after, like it was part of the alien tech, and then he beats
Are you thinking more kind of like an Ex Machina film?
Kind of
like that'd be kind of neat. I'd be into that.
Yeah,
that feels like something that would fit that like Earth 1, like those graphic novels, like the Green Lantern one that we're waiting for.
God.
Like a
DC execs, we know you're always listening.
Cyborg Earth 1, I think, would really fit like something like that.
That would be so rad. I really hope they do stuff like that, because that would be fucking cool.
That would be pretty neat.
Oh, you've sold me you sold a pitch in the room.
Awesome. To the person that needed to hear it.
That's right.
But yeah, so there's a new artist on the last 2 issues. The last issue, number 20, comes out in January, and then that's it for this most recent Cyborg series.
But they brought in a new guy to do it, so that's gonna.
I think the current one has moved over to Action Comics.
Yes, that's right.
I think is the idea. So,
but that's cool. Hopefully, you'll bring a little bit of something for the last few.
Yeah, you know, it's always nice to get someone else in there too, right? You never know.
Right when they need it most. After it's already been decided.
You never know. Maybe issue 20 is just like so like visually incredible that they
have to
bring back a miniseries or something.
I'm okay with that.
I think stranger things have probably happened.
It'll sell like 1 billion copies, and they're like, shit.
A billion copies of a comic book would change the game.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mean
Marvel would close its doors the next day if DC sold 1 billion copies of anything.
What's like a reasonable sale run for
a few 100,000?
That's good.
Yeah. Like good?
Yeah.
That's that good.
I mean, I think when things get canceled,
you get the good.
That good.
When things get canceled, they're probably below 40,000.
Really?
Yeah. So if this thing hits like 90,000, they would probably jizz their jeans.
I'm not like an industry insider, but I think that number is in my head for some reason. I feel like I read it.
Industry insider, Reed Vanier.
No. That's not my real name. Take a drink if you're playing the game.
Yeah.
He's an insider.
You also said his last name.
Yeah.
Oh, I went balls deep on that one.
Oh my god.
6 episodes from now, he's going to give out my address.
Oh my god. Do you remember when Tom Green did that to his co-host?
Oh my god.
The phone number, and like each episode he released a new number from his actual phone number. Yeah. Or wait, was it his phone number or his social insurance number?
Oh my god, why?
Oh, I thought
I think it was his phone number, though.
I certainly remember it as phone number. It's
Yeah.
a lot darker if it's not.
Yeah, no, but I do remember that. I remember that was really good.
Oh, God.
For all you old people out there.
Remember Tom Green?
Remember when he had an MTV show?
Remember how he asked if his dad liked his sausage? So in stock news, Booster Gold is back.
Yeah. So, if you've been following... If you've been following Action Comics lately...
So Blue Beetle's gone, but...
Well, but no, this is Booster Gold in Action Comics. It's not a Booster Gold like solo thing. But what's been happening is Superman just found out that Mr. Oz, this character that's kind of been stalking him for a couple of years, the one that I said, I think previously on this podcast, that I thought it was Ozymandias.
Yes.
It's not. Spoilers, if you haven't read this. Wait. It's Jor-El.
Whoa.
But it's still tied to Dr. Manhattan. Basically, Manhattan plucked him from the destruction of Krypton, and Jor-El was kind of like manipulated in that, and he was a little bit of like a unwilling bad guy. But basically, in the aftermath of that, Superman is trying to find out if that was really Jor-El, and he tries to like look at Green Lantern footage of Krypton exploding, and something's wrong with the footage. So he uses the Flash's cosmic treadmill to try and run himself back in time, and right as he kind of vanishes into the time stream, Booster Gold shows up and says, no, don't go. Like, don't do it.
Really?
So now Booster has to chase Superman through time. So that's where we're picking up with Booster Gold.
Whoa.
It's the first time we've seen Booster in this like rebirth era of comics.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. It's cool stuff.
And there's a Wonder Woman Easter egg in the latest Legends of Tomorrow episode.
Yeah, so not the Crisis on Earth X crossover, but the episode just before that, they was about like Helen of Troy. Was that the one just before that? No, it was 2 ago.
Oh, okay.
The one just before that was the Vietnam War.
That's right.
So
top of the news.
yeah. It's I think the guys over at Nerds Chatting call it broken news,
yes, that's
because
right.
it's no longer breaking.
Yes.
Yeah, so there was a couple episodes ago, Helen of Troy. It was like one of the like time aberrations, and she was in like Golden Age Hollywood, and it was causing this like fight between studios, and it meant that Hedy Lamarr wasn't getting this role, and then she wasn't inventing like signal hopping and things like that. It was affecting all their technology. But at the end of the episode, they're kind of wrestling with this thing. Like, they have to send Helen of Troy back, but her kind of struggle is that everywhere she goes, she basically is like witnessing the savagery of man in her name. But they're supposed to restore these people to the timeline. But Zari, the new character this season, finds a bit of a loophole.
Sorry.
She finds a bit of a loophole where...
I'm so sorry.
Exactly. Where history just says that Helen disappears during the war, and basically she takes her to an island and says
nice little romantic getaway.
and says it's only women here. You don't have to worry about the savagery of man. And then as the time ship flies away, the like crawl across the screen says like Themyscira. So it's confirmation.
In a world of only just women.
Nice.
Sorry.
That's what he would have wanted.
Yeah.
That's what Willy Wonka would have wanted. So it's
He
confirmation.
invented a river of chocolate. Of course, that's what he would have wanted. Think before you talk.
Is that sexist?
I think a river full of chocolate's kind of sexy, if anything.
Not what I said. At any rate,
Totally
it's confirmation
done.
that Themyscira exists in the Arrowverse. So we know that Gotham City exists because there's that Bruce Wayne name drop in Arrow this season. Now we know that Themyscira exists because of Legends. So all we're waiting for is... Well, I mean, they tie into the Superman world by having Supergirl come from her Earth, but basically in the main Arrowverse, he's kind of the only big one missing now. Oh, and Green Lantern, of course, but we just assume he's in space.
So Margot Robbie has confirmed something pretty important.
What's that?
Oh, it's
that-
red, right?
Her and I have decided not to see each other anymore.
Is it because you're both too attractive?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's because he could only see her. Because it was in his mind.
Oh, yeah.
Good one. Good one. You know, she is confirmed the Harley Quinn role.
Which I know, not a big surprise, but
That she's playing Harley Quinn? Because that happened like a year and a half ago.
Well, no, she's reprising the role, I guess.
next year. So
Next
that's
year.
interesting.
Yeah, so I think probably...
Don't you get the memos, dude? Don't you look through the news before we
I
do
send
this?
them out, and you.
Oh, Jesus.
and
Didn't we get rid of you? We left you in that closet.
I send memos. I got out of that. So there was that for
Well,
you.
congratulations
Thank you very much. See, this is what Todd needs.
for coming out of the closet.
I see what you. What if I was? Huh?
Todd,
You
we're
got a
not
problem?
we're not judging you, man. We're here for you.
Because you know what?
Whatever you need.
I didn't know, and then I saw Justice League, and I found out.
Found out what?
It's Aquaman. I hear you, man.
That's right.
Oh no! I can see it in his eyes. It wasn't Aquaman. It was the Flash.
That's fair.
I mean, he's so fast to come.
Well, no, now we got to cut all this part out. At any rate,
Edit
yeah.
point?
So Margot
Question
Robbie,
mark?
Goodbye.
Margot Robbie, as Harley Quinn. If it's happening next year, it's probably Suicide Squad 2. I think it's unlikely that they would fast track one of those like maybe movies, like the Gotham City Sirens or something like that. It makes the most sense that the movie that they already have a director attached to is the one that they would be trying to get out next year. That feels rushed.
Yeah.
Well, although she said she's just returning to it next year, that could just mean filming. Because as it stands right now, the only movie coming out next year is Aquaman.
Maybe she just pops up. She's like, nah!
In Aquaman?
Just like an Easter egg. That'd be really
Underwater? Yeah.
Mr.
He's like, I'm sorry, I can't understand
That
what you're
was
saying.
this close to my favorite lost character.
Not in his boat.
Go back through our old episodes if you want to find out who that was.
So Andrew Kreisberg has officially been fired from Supergirl and The Flash, and why do I feel like there's some ominous reason for that?
No, you know why? I mean,
We read about this.
we did touch on this. It's the
Did we already
reason.
talk about this?
We touched on this because he touched on that.
Oh,
It's the reason that everyone is being fired, and they should be.
Touch on this? Touch on it.
It's the reason why I'm going to lose this job.
Did
Too.
you touch on this?
I hope not.
Are you going to bad touch us?
Can we cut this bit out too?
Keep it fair play, I guess.
This kind of makes me uncomfortable.
Job well done.
Kreisberg. There were lots of like sexual harassment. And
Oh, yeah, because I was
assault
like,
allegations.
Kreisberg.
Yeah,
I was looking for that joke, and then you got to it first.
Yeah, I totally nailed
yeah,
it.
exactly. So
Gotcha, Kreisberg.
Jesus Christ.
he's kind of like one of like the main minds behind like the CW like TV Arrowverse.
Yeah, but it's already developed now, so.
It's well, yeah, but even if it wasn't, it's not worth keeping him around. So it's good that he's gone.
Well,
but
I
it's,
know,
like,
I just-
officially like happened now. But like, it's just too bad that like
Bye-bye, Kreisberg.
it does kind of like taint enjoying some of their stuff.
it's the
Maybe
reason why I cancan't watch Cosby anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like
You could watch it to begin with?
Yeah, with the zoop and the zop and the boobity bob.
Yeah, no. It's super annoying.
I'll be honest. I never found that like stuff funny. But
You can say it. It's
no, I mean like just I didn't find the Cosby Show funny. There.
it's years of weight off your shoulder.
Dude, I've been saying it for ages. Why is it so hard?
It
for
was
me to do?
good.
Yeah, but you don't like anything. Though.
That's very true.
That's true,
I have
yeah,
a hard
yeah.
time enjoying anything.
yeah.
Including this podcast.
So at any rate, Kreisberg is gone. So
I just do it because we're 20 million episodes.
26 episodes in.
And DC has officially launched some new covers.
So basically,
or
they've
whatever.
just-
Are they going to do Wonderwall? What's the plan?
no, yeah, it's all song covers.
It's Superman.
Well, 'cause-
struggling with an acoustic guitar in a
So they'd been doing Rebirth.
at a college.
Yeah.
dormitory.
So they basically have just taken the Rebirth like tag
Like
off
banner?
of,
Yeah.
off of the covers, and they've replaced it with a. They've replaced it with a like a thing on the side that says like DC Universe, and then it's got like a little like colored box with like the symbol of whatever you're
Yeah.
reading in it. So either Justice League or Superman or Green Arrow or whatever.
more like DC Whoniverse.
They're climbing a stairway to heaven.
Who?
Who? When you play into it, it's not fun.
Yeah, it sucks.
Oh, did I ruin that?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Thanks, Dad.
I could be cool too, kids.
Hey, look at me. I've got my hat on backwards. Patty Jenkins makes Time shortlist for Person of the Year.
Patty Jink.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Is she upset about maybe a photo shoot, possibly some interviews?
Huh?
is this news I haven't caught up on?
No, it's a poke at number 45.
Oh, well, yeah. I was just gonna say I'm glad that Patty Jenkins is on that list because I think, yeah, like Trump is one of them, and then I think there's like a dictator from somewhere else.
So here's hoping for Patty Jenkins.
And then like Colin Kaepernick is one, and I think the Me Too campaign is one.
Me too, isn't it?
There's another.
Isn't a person though. That's a movement.
Take it up with time, man.
Well, like
It's a vague statement.
Yeah, take it up with time. I guess we all will.
That's right.
Eventually. We all do take it.
Time gets us all at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably for her role and just, like bringing Wonder Woman to the screen and the importance of that film, especially in terms of like the sort of cultural context of this past year.
Not to be a dick,
key.
but is that more important than Colin Kaepernick?
No. I mean, like, do I think she is the person of the year? No, but I think it's the context that, like, in a year full of some pretty like horrible stuff, she's the like kind of like the nice bright spot in all that.
I can get behind you with that then. I appreciate it.
I don't know that I would necessarily want her to win out of that, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, we all know that you're pulling for Trump to win it, so.
I told you not to say anything.
You shut the fuck up. Doomsday Clock issues have arrived.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Doomsday Clock number 1.
You've been posting about it.
I'm really impressed. I'm very, very impressed with it. Most of the issue is in the Watchmen universe. You barely get a hint of DC in it.
How many times have you read it?
4 now.
Wow.
But I'll obviously I'll be like rereading.
He can read books too, idiot.
Yeah, only if they have pictures.
It's
though.
impressive.
You're the only one who can't read.
Shut up,
Todd.
It's great though. Like it takes place in 1992, and the Watchmen takes place in 85. So we're a few years down the line, and Ozymandias's like deception has been like revealed. Like Rorschach's journal got found.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but there's a new Rorschach. Like someone has taken like the mask and like the look and speaks like him, but it's not the original Rorschach.
Weird.
Ozymandias is in that issue. It's pretty crazy, but essentially the conceit is the world is once again like basically on the brink of destruction. Like the nukes are in the air, and
oh shit!
Ozymandias is like our only hope is to find Manhattan and see if he'll bail us out. But where is he? He's been gone for so long. And then you get like a quick flash just into the DC universe. You don't see Manhattan, but it's implied that's where he is.
So what's the image of the DC universe that you see?
It's Superman waking up from a nightmare. He has a nightmare about his parents dying in a car crash. And Lois says, I can't remember the last time you had a nightmare. And he says, I never have. And then the issue ends.
I'm Superman. I'm basically an all-American hero. I only think apple pie thoughts.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's right. He's a god. He still believes in Jesus
He is from
Christ.
the Midwest. Why doesn't he have an accent?
That's an even better point. Maybe he does.
Well,
Maybe he should.
Hey there, my name's Clark Kent.
My name's Clark Kent.
I mean, I can't do the accent, so I'm afraid that it's going to turn into the South Carolina if I do it. I'm going to sound like...
It's a goddamn pleasure to meet you, my friend.
Oh, hello. I'm from Minnesota. My name's Superman.
I was going to say, I'm going to come out sounding like the Colonel Angus SNL sketch. Like, we ain't seen Colonel Angus around these parts in a long time.
My name is Superman. You look pretty nice in them tights.
Ding, 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 ding,
Oh, no.
You got a pretty mouth there, Mr. Luther.
Should be a shame if somebody, I don't know, punch you.
Well, this is the weirdest pitch meeting I've ever been to.
And yet somehow it's sold. We're DC. We don't know what we're doing.
So, how about that Crisis on Earth X?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that was the big CW crossover this year.
I haven't watched shit because I'm so far behind.
I got to say,
This is how I'm always going to get out of weird situations with you guys now.
Just talk about the
how
next-
about that Crisis on Earth X, huh?
it was really good. It was basically like a 4-part like movie.
Really?
The Nazis from Earth X invade.
Fuck, that's so cool.
And yeah, it was like really, really cool. You get to go to Earth X for a little bit. I really liked, well, it was interesting. The Reverse Flash, like from Earth X, is actually the Harrison Wells Reverse Flash from Earth 1 who ended up there.
What?
So he's plucked like out of the time stream at some point.
What?
Yeah, so like that was kind of crazy. I don't know if that'll like come back again, but that was pretty weird. I liked on Earth X, Oliver is the Führer.
What?
Yeah.
He's the Fjoliver.
Well, he's the Führer, and he and Overgirl are like married.
Is that anywhere similar to the comics, or
No, because in the comics you get like the full roster of the Justice League. Over,
yeah.
right? Like they're just working with their TV like
who
counterparts.
they have access to?
Yeah. There was a Red Tornado. There was a yeah. It was pretty neat. They introduced the Ray. I will say though, as cool as it was, the production values were high. The action was awesome. There's some amazing fight scenes, really cool like production design. I don't think any TV show or any 4 hours of TV in the last 10 years have failed the Bechdel test harder than Crisis on
that's
Earth
right.
X.
You posted that, yeah.
Every time.
Really?
Two female characters were on stage, they were like, but I'm so lonely.
Really?
Like,
Even with all of these stakes?
and it figures he's married now or like whatever it was. Yeah. Even with all of those stakes, it is baffling how it got written. I don't know how it's possible.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
It is. It's too bad because it's hard to ignore. And in an otherwise really awesome thing, like it's, one or two scenes, you're like, okay, fine. Like you got to get some of these story things out of the way. But like, it was like every single time it was just female characters on screen. They were like, but he's kind of cute or like oh, Jesus.
Jeez.
So that kind of marred it a little bit. But otherwise, it was a pretty strong crossover.
Well, that's awesome.
Super strong.
So before we move to the next part, I figured let's talk about it in the beginning because this podcast is terrible and people won't make it to the end.
Such confidence.
Yes, that's right.
Episode 26, where it all stays bad. If you've made it this far, be prepared for the same terrible show.
It's only staying at the bottom from here.
Same terrible place.
Started at the bottom.
Now we're still here.
Now we're still...
But we have to get a little promo out for our next week. We are recording the 12 episodes of Darkness.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty insane.
So one thing we didn't say...
The 12 knocks of darkness.
Yes, that's right. We didn't say this in the last episode, but what we are also going to be doing is we are going to be having a nog of some sorts for each episode.
Yeah. And we're recording all 12 at once.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's all happening in the same day. The intent is to do it over 6 hours. Probably going to be a little bit longer because we're going to be doing little bits of intros and outros and things like that. But it's going to be an all-day recording. So
filling up nog.
So what we are asking for now is please send us any questions you have. It doesn't have to be towards any sort of theme. Yeah. It can barely be about DC.
Ask us about our dogs.
No, it should be about DC.
Vaguely about DC. Send us questions. All of your questions. Hashtag DOCMAS Docmas.
Yeah, we'll answer literally any question.
Any questions, yes.
It's going to be pretty ridiculous.
It's going to get out
but
of control.
I think it'll be fun.
Yes. So please send us any question on all of our social media platforms, which we will go over at the end of this episode. But make sure to use hashtag Docmas so we know where you want it.
That's right.
Then we'll give it to you.
Ooh,
God, I am so...
Show me where you want it and I'll give it to you.
I'm super worried about this.
It's going to be great. And if you have any What Colin Does, I mean, those would be great too.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Let's do that. Let's do all of those. So this week's theme is Super Best Friends for Now. Isn't that what that is?
That's not what the second F stands for. The second F isn't for now.
Stands for fucks.
Best fuck friends? Is that what that is?
No, it's best friends.
Best fucking friends?
Best fucking friends in there.
Best fucking friends.
On the Google Docs, it did say best. It said super buddies, but I just couldn't write that down.
Super buddies.
I was like, I can't. I was gonna write super friends, and I'm like, that's a thing, so I can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, so
what about super pals?
And I didn't want to do super team ups because we already did that episode 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, no. These are like hero friendships, not necessarily with other heroes.
That's right. We're already running out of ideas.
No, we're not. Did you see that? I put all sorts of new ones in there.
I did see that. I just thought it was funny.
I got the idea from Mrs. Dr. DC. She wanted to hear about cool hero friends.
She's really into friendship.
It's when your partner's not a friend. That's
Well, let's go to the first question.
First question's, how's your marriage?
All right, we're going to go to the lines. Caller.
From not Mrs. Dr. DC.
So we're going to go over to Twitter, where Dave says, which powered and non-powered duo stories do you think would be better if roles were reversed first?
Yeah, so we're talking about the idea that like superheroes like maybe have like a non-powered friend. I have like a weird example of this where so Superman and Batman are like very famously friends. They fight crime together since time immemorial. But there is a very particular story in Superman, Batman, it's like 53 or something like that. It's the same Superman Batman series that had like the Public Enemies arc, but basically their powers get.
Were those the guys that were straight out of Compton?
yeah, that's right. They got their powers flipped, which means Batman got all of Superman's powers and Superman got all of Batman's powers, which reminder is nothing. Because he didn't like get his intelligence or anything. He just got nothing. But in that story, Batman, maybe I've talked about this before. Batman kind of goes crazy. He goes nonstop fighting crime around the world. He sees this as his opportunity to stop all crime forever. To the point where he's running himself ragged and it's kind of, he ends up being pretty messed up by it. But there's a really neat little bit where Superman's training him how to use his powers. He's teaching him how to use heat vision and teaching him how to use super breath and things like that. It's a pretty cool arc. And I think that it's interesting to see how their personalities don't match with their powers. Superman has all the power in the world, but he's such a relatable, normal, relatively well-adjusted guy.
Yeah, totally normal dude. Just jumping over buildings.
Well, no, but take the powers away, and he is
Bullets
a normal
and
guy.
stuff.
He's got a very rigid kind of moral compass and things like that. Batman with powers goes off the fucking deep end. The only reason that he's not the biggest threat on the planet is that he has no powers.
He's like that Twitter thing where someone says something and they're like, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, exactly like that. Pretty much. Yeah, it's crazy. He really loses his mind a little bit. But Superman with no powers is it's harder for me to help people, but he can still live. He still has he's the same guy.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of interesting to watch them play off each other like that. But sometimes non-powered friends of heroes get powers. Jimmy Olsen got powers for a little bit.
Yeah, and then he sent us an email.
Yeah, he did that one time. That's right. Jimmy got.
Bad case of AIDS.
Jimmy got a gun.
Oh no. Oh okay. What happened to Jimmy?
Jimmy got a gun.
No, that's never mind.
Yes.
Jimmy got a gun.
Jimmy became a hero called Action Man, and he would just get a random power when he needed it, but he didn't know when that was or what power he would get.
That sounds really confusing.
It was kind of like a silly story, but
That doesn't sound silly at all. That sounds terrible. That sounds like the world's most terrifying life to live.
Well, yes.
You're never going to know what
I
you
beg
need
to differ.
until you need it. Ah! Okay, go on.
You're not on the ocean. It's fine. That's a callback.
That's true.
Who's another maybe non-powered friend who maybe got powers? Oh, that's tough. Do you know what?
Did Alfred ever get powers?
Almost certainly at some point, because that feels
Seemed like a missed opportunity, if not.
well. There's in the Injustice comics, they all take those they're Kryptonian nanite pills.
Yeah.
Which is the story reason for why they can just have punching matches in the game.
Oh.
That it strengthens their bones and that he beats the shit out of Superman. Alfred
Really?
beats the shit out of him in the Batcave.
I hear that Alfred makes a mean Fernabranca.
Banana.
Don't force it.
All right, fine, Jesus. In this like metal series, in one of those dark multiverse Earths, Alfred is killed, but Bruce has kind of turned him into an AI, and that Alfred AI goes on like a killing spree and like kills every villain on Earth and like takes over Bruce and stuff like that. So that's a version of Alfred with powers that's kind of terrifying. You know who I would love to see get powers or like get like the flip power? It'd be neat if, and this might exist, because there's just so many years of comics. But if like Etta Candy got powers and Wonder Woman was depowered for
that would be fun.
Flip them for a little bit, and especially like it'd be neat that film version because I like that Etta Candy a lot. I think it'd be cool to see her with superpowers. I would kind of dig that.
I think so too. It would be very funny. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, some of them, like the Green Lantern, you could theoretically...
Anybody could take that.
I mean, it's not technically how the ring works, but if you're a writer, you could always write a way around it, you know? But like, yeah, someone else could have a ring, so you can always introduce someone new with the power that way. But
did they ever give Lois Superman's powers?
Yes. A couple of different times.
Cool.
There's like a...
Because they would be super BFFs, you know what I'm saying?
There's a non-canon story called All-Star Superman, where Superman finds out that he's dying, but he wants to like accomplish some things before he dies, and one of them is he makes this serum for Lois so that she gets his powers for like a day so she can see the world the way he sees it. And that's one instance of it.
That's a terrible thing to do to another person. God, I hate Superman. You imagine just being given that like for just one day? That'd be like if someone told you like you can only do heroin once.
Well, if you don't like that,
only once.
Only once? No, well, like I know heroin's not a good thing. We shouldn't promote drug use, but I mean, like, could you imagine?
But I mean, come on.
So I guess we have to cover that snowbirds can't fly a Green Arrow story sometime soon. Then
oh God.
I just mean like if you were to give someone absolute euphoria once, and you're like, oh, but never again, though.
No, I take your point there. Well, if you don't like that, you really won't like this. At the end of the New 52, there were two Supermen. There was the pre-Flashpoint Superman and the New 52 Superman, both existing on the same Earth. The New 52 Superman died, but in the process of the events that led to him dying, his powers were like distributed to other people, and the New 52 Lois Lane got his powers, and it like consumed her and killed her. There's still a Lois Lane because the pre-Flashpoint one was, for story reasons, also there. But that Lois also got Superman's powers, and it ended horribly for her.
Yeah, I can imagine.
She was Superwoman for like an issue and a half or something like that, and then she died.
How did she die?
Like, I think it was just like the powers, like, she couldn't take them, and like they just kind of consumed her.
Why don't she put up with that fucking idiot in glasses?
All right. Jeez. This is a DC podcast. You're going to have to deal with Superman.
Right?
We're going to move along. I'm upset now.
Also, we're entering the year of Superman, so deal.
What's that?
We're entering the year of
It's
Superman.
like 80th birthday next year.
So,
whatever.
Get ready.
Talking Superman says, do you believe super pets can work in modern comics?
Yeah, that's... they're a different kind of friend.
Well, if it's a dog, it's literally the best friend.
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny is
and
some
best
of them
furry friend too.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yo, you into furry?
the last time we talked about Crypto, it went kind of weird because we were talking about like skinning him and putting him around a dog-shaped rock of kryptonite.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. That was you, Colin. Just in case you were confused by that.
I said we should do that.
Yeah.
Roll the clip. No. But do you know what's kind of funny is that Crypto does sort of continuously pop up in Action Comics, and it doesn't seem out of place. Like, some of those super pet things feel very, like, 60s-y, where it's like, this is a stupid, silly idea that they were like, 9-year-olds will buy the comics now because there's a cute puppy in it.
Brought to you by Winston Cigarettes.
yeah, exactly.
Smoke them if you got them.
Exactly like that, yeah.
Hey, Jimmy, can you go down to the supermarket and give me a pack of cigarettes? Hey, no problem, Pop.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll bring Lucky.
Comics sure were different.
They sure were.
For sure.
Yeah, but crypto still works. I think just because I don't know, maybe it's just because he's like a very like kind of beloved character because he's been around long enough. Crypto works pretty well.
How did that happen anyways? Was that a dog that he already had, or is it
It's a Kryptonian dog.
I just love that they have dogs. Like it's this weird like
Krypton is just like, oh, it's you're all human basically.
Krypton's actually just Nebraska.
Yeah. Yeah.
Space Nebraska.
Yeah.
The space group.
No, don't.
I tried. I failed.
So bad.
Crypto still works. Actually, I'll give you an example of a weird one that was kind of like cute in its own way. There's so Damian Wayne, who is the current Robin, he's Batman's son, but he was raised by his mother Talia al Ghul and raised in the League of Assassins. And he like didn't know Bruce for like the first like 8 years of his life or something like that. So he was like raised as an assassin, and then Bruce is trying to like. The struggle has been like getting him not to kill.
To be a good role model.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
For someone who's a terrible role model.
Signed him up for Little League.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But he always misses his games.
But that.
Now you're the Batman.
But that Robin, Damian. Oh, the Batman. Oh, my God. Oh, the penny just dropped. The penny just dropped.
Oh, God. That makes me so happy.
Oh.
Every once in a while I get one.
That was good.
Anyway.
Sorry I wasn't with you on the get-go there. That was really good. But yeah, so like Damian is always kind of now like fighting the bloodlust a little bit, but there's some comic where he saves this cow that has like a patch on its eyes that kind of looks like the bat symbol, and he calls it Bat Cow, and Bat Cow like lives on like the Wayne Manor property or whatever. And I think there's even a comic issue where Bat Cow has his own adventure.
Oh my God, really?
But
okay, that sounds
Bat
amazing.
Cow is kind of adorable and works in a modern comic because it's
just
like,
a cow having a good time.
Having a cud time.
Cud time.
Yeah, there you go. Don't force it.
Well, watch him move.
It's a moo point.
Yeah. Oh.
That's a Friends joke.
You're a Friends joke.
At any rate,
This is a Friends episode.
It's a cool little thing because it shows that Damian is like humanizing a little bit. Like
You're such a Rachel.
it's hard. It's hard for him to feel compassion for even like other humans.
Stupid one.
It's hard for him to feel compassion even for like other humans. So the fact that he can do it for just like an animal, it shows that he's still like a kid. There's still like a kid in there, not just like a killer. So that kind of version of it works. You can't do the Silver Age, like the cartoon thing with like Skrill and Hawkman. I don't think that works. Or you can't do like the octopus sidekick like Topo for Aquaman or things like that. There's a certain kind of very silly like super pet thing that I don't think works anymore. Some of them still do. I think Streaky the Super Cat just got reintroduced in the comics, but I don't know if
Wait, what the hell is that?
I don't know if Streaky got introduced with powers or not though. But
What
cat
about
Streaky?
What about Gnort? How's he doing first?
Well, but he's not a pet. He's just
no.
like a
What the hell is
doggish
a
alien.
Streaky besides what I call my underwear?
Streaky the Super Cat was basically like the cat version of Crypto.
and leaky.
It's basically like the cat version of Crypto.
Jesus, but
That was Supergirl's cat.
so is it a cat that just like sleeps all the time and you're like, I think it's got powers?
It never uses them when I want.
That
Yeah.
cat can sleep through anything.
Yeah.
It must have powers.
The planet exploded, but the cat was asleep.
Yeah, no, it's
Is the
just
cat alive?
here's the biggest problem is that like everybody's dying around it and it's just like
He doesn't give a shit.
But where's my food?
yeah, that's right.
Seems like you guys are spending a lot of time thinking about other things right now when you should be thinking about me and where my goddamn.
It feels like every issue's just got to have things that somehow affect directly to that cat so that it'll actually do something about it.
Yeah.
Oh, you took my human.
Oh my God, when it starts doing the pawing on your chest thing, that would really hurt.
Yo, you look like a Kryptonian.
Yeah.
Just tear you apart. Just like, oh,
But he loves me. Oh.
it's finally showing affection. It's worth it.
So just like a normal cat, then is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Its powers for the like atomic fur balls.
So we got some emails.
Don't you step over me. I see what you're doing.
That's ballsy. Don't step over me.
Marco
It
asks,
literally is.
which two superheroes, oh gross, would have never been good friends, like me and Richard, for example? Or which ones have tried a few times, but they just don't like each other, so it doesn't work out, like me and Richard, for example?
I kind of have two answers to this, but they
Glug,
both,
glug, 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 glug.
they both involve Green Arrow though, because he's a little salty. He's not good at friendships.
Kind of a pickle dick, that guy.
There's I don't know what that means.
Salty.
Do you want to do it or me?
Edit point?
Edit point.
Edit point.
Edit point.
So Green Arrow in the 90s, he dies, and in that issue, that story where he dies, he's like caught in this like dead man switch on a plane, and he's like bleeding out, and he's trying to stop this bomb, and he can't because his hand's stuck in it. Superman shows up. They're going through all the scenarios of like how to fix this thing, and they don't super get along because Superman doesn't love the way Ollie conducts himself. Ollie's a little bit of like a love him and leave him kind of devil may care type, and Ollie doesn't like Superman because he thinks Superman is maybe too squeaky clean, that he's ignoring the little guy and that sort of thing. But they're running through all the scenarios, and Superman basically says the only way that I can save you and save the city is if I heat vision your arm off and leave it in the dead man switch and take you off this plane.
Whoa.
And Ollie says, like, no,
That's my jerking hand.
well, basically he says, I'd rather die, you big blue, and then like lets go of it and explodes and kills himself rather than let Superman do that. And then at his like, it's not like a full funeral, but it's like the Justice League's like memorial for him. Superman gets up to say something, and he says like I wasn't like great friends with him. I wish like Hal was here, but Hal's already become parallax by this point. And he goes, well, not Hal, but like Hal before. And then they're going around and like one of them's like, well, you know, like I heard he was a hit with the ladies. And then one of them was like, yeah, he never took himself seriously. Like no one has like anything really good to say about him. And then Zatanna is just like, but you know, like he died like saving the city. And they go like, yeah, he was a hero. And they like have a drink, but like no one really knew him.
Wow.
It's kind of messed up.
Like even Batman would get a better send off than that.
It's so that's kind of like, I think that gives a little bit of a window into the type of friend Green Arrow.
The Joker's just there, just crying.
For Green Arrow?
No, for Batman.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he would though. We've talked about that. Yeah. The other Green Arrow example I've got is Hawkman. Hawkman is one of the ones that kind of doesn't have anything nice to say at that funeral. But they have like a long history of sort of being at each other's throats. And part of it is that Green Arrow is this like super socialist, like social justice warrior. He fights like street crime and things like that. And the Silver Age Hawkman, the alien one, is like a different kind of space cop. So he's like establishment.
Oh yeah.
Basically. And like law and order and like that kind of thing. So they always like ideologically get in each other's way. And so from like Silver Age comics where they would tease each other, and there's one issue, I don't remember what the setup is, but they're cleaning out Justice League headquarters and like they're all assigned cleaning tasks, but Green Arrow is with Hawkman and he makes some comment like, it's a good thing I got the dusting job. I got a real live feather duster. He's just like, he's just like chirping Hawkman.
Chirping Hawkman? Chirp, chirp, chirp.
Yeah. And like Hawkman, like,
That's good.
yeah. And Hawkman leaves the league like permanently or something after that issue.
After that terrible joke.
And Green Arrow like doesn't say bye to him. Like they have a long thing, and then in Identity Crisis they like really like get into it because they're both complicit in that like cover up about what they were doing to villains' memories and things like that. But Green Arrow was like uneasy about it, and Hawkman was like, "This is we should be wiping everyone's memory." Just like. So they have like a pretty contentious one too. I think it kind of got wiped out a little bit in the New 52. I feel like they didn't have too much like interaction with each other. Is that related to anything?
I don't know. He started singing it.
Memory wiping.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
So tangential.
So yeah.
So tangential.
Totally adds up.
But yeah, I would say that it's probably Green Arrow in general is the super hero friend who kind of drives the most people away. Even his romantic partner, like Black Canary, the number of times they've broken up is like incalculable. I think Green Arrow and Hawkman are the pair I'd pick, but in general, Green Arrow is the super friend that is maybe the hardest to be friends with.
I don't know. I think Richard is the hardest to be friends with.
Well, funny that you say that. Read the next question.
Hello, boys. I want to put you on the spot. Who of the other two is your best friend? Go. Ah, shit. Also, in your best friend pairing, who would be the superhero and who would be the normie and why? Thanks, Lindsay. Thanks, Lindsay.
So both of us choose the Doctor.
Actually, you know what? I think I'd pick Richard because I could...
Yeah, I'm not going to be like offended.
No, and the reason why I think I'd pick
But you
Richard...
won't be on the podcast anymore.
is because... yeah, that was actually part of why I picked him.
You heard that it's going to be a year of Superman, and you were like, "I'm out." That's it.
I'm super out.
Okay, sorry. You pick Richard.
And I would pick him to be the superhero so that he would have to do all the work.
Oh wait, that's just what happens in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know though, because I think that trope is that like then the superhero gets in trouble, and only the normie like can go and like save the day.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that though. It's a really great way to get rid
This
of
friendship's going to work out.
when people
We're
see
gonna make it out.
Yeah, right.
when people see this like super BFF, it's like super best fucking friends. Those guys, like, it's gonna be sarcastic.
Heavy. He's my brother. So I choose the Doctor.
Of course you do, lazy bastard.
You can stay.
Yes.
You can stay here in your studio with your equipment.
I feel like I'm always got to be.
We are gonna leave.
So I feel like we've got either two ways that we could go, because I'm always the one who tries really hard, and so I feel like I'm a good normie. But I'm also the one with the most money, so I feel like I could be the like Batman guy.
You dick.
Right. Well, do you know what's great about a friendship is when one person throws their wealth in the other one's face? That's a particularly good note for a friendship.
You do realize that's why I picked you to be the superhero, because I would be the fuck out of Alfred.
Yeah, of course.
Totally.
How would you be a good Alfred? You just said you didn't want to do anything. Alfred does everything.
That's true.
Does he, though?
That's true.
Have you ever seen him do anything? Like, actually do it, though?
Yeah. He's always on the computer.
Yeah.
Well, you have
porn.
He built that whole armor bat suit in Batman
That's
v
true.
Superman.
Depending on the
Did he,
Superman.
or did he farm it out? Because you don't see him physically, like, making it.
Yeah, you do actually in that movie.
No, you don't. That's stupid.
You haven't seen it.
Yeah, and, the music's like, everyone's watching to see what you will do.
Yeah, there's that Batman building things month.
Everybody's
Alfred building
working
things
for the Batman. Everybody needs some Batman too.
Okay, so
Enough.
Oh no.
Enough.
you that's interesting. I think you would be a good, to quote Spider-Man Homecoming, guy in the chair.
Yeah, I tend to be the guy in the chair.
But yeah, okay, fine. You've got the money. You can be Batman if you want. That's fine.
I'm going to reiterate. You're such a dick.
I know.
I will remind you, Batman doesn't have powers. So you're the normie either way.
Oh. I'm still a normie with money.
We get it.
In so far, in both of the pairings, you're both the superhero and the normie.
Yeah.
So it's going to work.
But now the Doctor needs to choose his.
Right. Yeah, so my best friend isn't in this room. No.
She said of this group.
Yeah,
the
very
ficus.
specific.
Oh.
No.
Avatar of the Green.
Yeah, it's a tough call because I know I'm the tiebreaker here right now.
Ooh.
But let's see. I got picked.
Pretty nice mics that you're using.
I got picked once. Richard got picked once. So it's only fair that I picked Colin.
Oh,
Don't be a
that's true.
communist. Fuck you. That's like being picked last for Little League.
Do you know what though? This is why I picked Colin.
Because even when you choose him, he tells you to go fuck yourself.
I have to work at this friendship.
Yeah, and that's-
I'm never complacent.
Yeah, if there's anything you could say about the Doctor, he likes to work for his
But I think that
relationships.
means that I'm the normie. I think I'm Jimmy.
Yeah.
I'm Jimmy. I have to like use the signal watch and be like, "Hey, Soups, like, how's it going?" Like,
You just refer to me as Superman right now?
Yeah.
Oh.
God damn it.
Look at that. Every cloud has a shitty line.
I've looked at clouds from both sides now.
Wait, what?
Joni Mitchell, both sides now.
Yeah.
That's what... Okay.
You talked about clouds.
Yeah.
That's what it makes me think of.
No, it doesn't.
That sad scene in Love Actually when Emma Thompson knows that Alan Rickman's cheating on her.
I had a dream of times gone by.
We are all over the place.
Oh, God damn it.
Well, now that none of us are friends after that question.
Yeah, Lindsay, you've successfully broken up the podcast. So
Way to Yoko the fuck out of the podcast.
tune in next week for 90 minutes of dead air.
So the podcast is going to say the same.
No, currently it's been hot air.
Yeah. Okay.
The next one will be dead air.
Only slightly different.
So
Thanks,
Leanne
Lindsay.
says, "Hi Doc, who is the most useless best friend a superhero has? A lot of times they end up helping them fight crime, but not everyone has useful skills. So who's the worst friend to have aside from Richard?"
Yeah, the one who gives you a studio, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, there's a bit of a trope where when like a superhero makes like a non-hero friend, they have some sort of skill, like they're like great at computers, or like they're a good like acrobat or like something, so that like those skills get called upon in some way. They're like,
So they feel important.
What's the thing
It's like
that
the most patronizing thing ever.
it's the thing that I mentioned where like usually how it goes is like the hero's like, "Don't worry, I got this," and there's like, "Oh shit, I don't got this," and then the other friend has to use whatever they have at their disposal.
Yeah, the
whatever
friend
skills
is like,
they've got to
"Oh, but I'm the one who
save the
knows how
day."
to use the abacus."
Yeah, exactly. Be like, "Oh, you defeated digital calculator man."
It's always got to find somebody with an
Casio
abacus.
digital watch
You defeated
calculator man.
Captain Casio.
Cassiopeia.
Thank you. There we go.
I don't know who the most useless friend would be. I mean, as a
Oh, I know.
no, not of us.
Oh, okay.
I think we've been there.
Good one.
I don't know who the most useless friend, like superhero friend, would be. I mean, the temptation is to say Jimmy Olsen, but that's wrong because Jimmy is,
He's a nice guy.
and in his own way, he's his own kind of like fearless reporter. Like Jimmy doesn't shy away from like the danger zones or like he wants to help
into
Superman.
them.
Oh,
in
thank
fact.
you. Thank you.
Yeah. Highway to the
Danger zone.
So yeah, it's definitely not Jimmy. I kind of want to say, even though he's like a skilled like military guy and he's good with guns and he's like a tactician and stuff like that, like John Diggle.
Sorry, who?
He's the character they introduced on Arrow that David Ramsey plays. Like
Oh, the guy who starts out as like his bodyguard.
yeah, but then they
Yes.
brought that character into the comics too. And guess what? Green Arrow and him don't have a solid friendship. But
Surprise.
But Diggle to me is kind of useless. Not in that he doesn't have skills, but in that he's like superfluous. Like there are other people.
How is he even in it now? Like I haven't watched Arrow since the first season.
Brought him in like in the comic. Well, oh yeah, on the show he's very superfluous because there's like a whole team.
Well, because that's what I mean. Because I was like, when the last time I watched, it was the first season, and it was basically he was the guy of the desk at some point.
Yeah,
but then he gets what's her face, and like at that point he's useless.
Yeah.
So, and then his like sister becomes like a thing, and so it's like, what's the point now?
Oh, sorry, Arrow's sister. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Sorry, I was like, Diggle has a sister. Like, God, I really haven't watched it in a while. Yeah. No, he is superfluous on the show, but in the comics, he's superfluous because there are other people on Team Arrow already like satisfying roles, and we've already established in the comic books that like just being like a military guy is not good enough. Like, there's something that the quote unquote superhero idea brings to the table because. At least on the show, they gave him a code name, they gave him a mask, they've made him a character. He's Spartan on the team.
Oh, okay.
In the comics, he's just like, John Diggle, I have a gun. Like, that's basically like all
It's like an arrow, but it's not.
that's all he is. Yeah. So I'm tempted to say that.
What about Lois Lane? She seems pretty useless.
Useless. Okay, is this just the shitting on Superman thing? Or do you have like an actual...
No, I don't know. After watching the Justice League movie, there's there's a sense that after he dies, she kind of just turns into a lump.
I mean, certainly in that movie,
She's a
that
lump.
movie made her useless, which is unfortunate because that would never happen in the comics.
Oh, okay. So she's actually like an independent woman.
Oh, in the comics, it's only that she doesn't have superpowers is the only reason that she's not the world's most like famous hero, reporter, whatever.
My bad then. Sorry about that.
No, but it's a good point to bring up because that movie like totally neuters her character. The movie successfully makes her useless.
She's a girl character, so it'd be Spade, but that's cool.
I see what you did there. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
I feel like
I owe it all to Bob Barker. He taught me everything I know about
Hacha.
those two things.
I feel like I've done a lot of Green Arrow talk, so I wanted to try and think of like one other character. There's like a rotating cast of different CSIs in the Flash comic that like all of whom blend together. Like they're just like no one.
Really?
Yeah, and they like there's supposed to be some drama in that, like in the interpersonal relationships and Barry dealing with like his powers on the fritz and he's always late and like blah 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 and he screws up an investigation or something. But like this like rotating cast of other cops in the CCPD and other like CSIs, I couldn't tell you their names. They all seem the same to me. It's not like the Gotham Police Department has like very like, I know who Harvey Bullock is. I know who Crispus Allen is. I know who Renee Montoya is. Like there are some very like key characters in there. The CCPD is just like, even like Captain Singh. Well, no, that's the show. Or no, it's Director Singh in the comics. Even that character who I can name is kind of like blends in. Like it's just like there's nothing unique or useful about them. The Flash comic I think suffers a little bit in that Batman like helps the cops, and even though like he does the job because they can't, he still like involves them. He like tells Gordon where to be with the squad car, that he'll like do the thing. Flash is like so powerful versus the police that he's helping that like, why is there a police department in Central City? It's just like useless. There's no point.
For real though.
So that I that's maybe that's my big answer. The entire Central City Police Department.
I like it.
So we're going to go over to Facebook.
Let's do it.
Josh Gill.
Oh, handsome fan of the podcast.
Yeah, subject him like that. That's really nice. Objectify him.
Oh, yeah.
Like a total.
I'll subject him all night long.
He did send a message to us that said, like, objectify away or something like that.
Oh, yeah. then grrr.
Yeah.
Okay, calm down. Poor guy.
Oh, you don't. Just you wait.
For what?
I don't know, but something.
Oh, that sounds like
that would be ominous if it felt at all like you had a plan.
Oh yeah, I'll get a plan. Just you wait.
I'll get a plan. That's the threat.
This sounds a lot like when Todd organized all of our files.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, speaking of useless characters,
stop saying his name. He shows up every goddamn time.
I thought
say it 3 times in the mirror.
No, that's Beetlejuice. That's,
oh right.
Yeah.
You just say Todd once. Hi.
He's like Mr. Mix's pet. Like you have to get him to say his name backwards, and then he vanishes until
What,
the next
Dot?
episode.
Oh no!
To Dot. Oh, thank goodness. Thank Todd. No.
We sure have some wacky friends.
So Josh has a question. He says, "What are your top 3 favorite superhero friendships?"
Let's start with that.
Sure. Well, you might be able to guess by the picture I put up when we were soliciting for questions, but it's Blue Beetle Booster Gold is way up there. I love that friendship. It's from like that very silly era of Justice League comics where there's like lots of laughs, there's lots of comedy, but then when like when things veer to tragedy, that friendship really like hits home. Like when Blue Beetle is killed and then Booster Gold keeps trying to like save him, like go back in time and save him, and he has to learn that like some things in time have to happen. Yeah, that friendship really like hits home, I think.
So he buys stocks in Apple and Google when he can, and
yeah, I mean,
he's like, I'm going to lose my friend anyways, but I might as well cash in on all these opportunities.
You know, before he learned the value of heroism, that's precisely the sort of thing Booster Gold would have done. No, yeah, before he learned the value of heroin, like the market value of it, just sold that instead.
Boostin' gold, they call him.
Golden brown.
I like Poison Ivy and and Harley Quinn.
I was going to bring that up, actually.
I always think that's a really interesting like power dynamic when those two are together.
Yeah, I mean that one is like it's evolved. They're also romantically involved
With each other?
Yeah,
Why else would you bring that up?
I don't know.
They both have boyfriends.
yeah, real fourth wheels.
No.
Normies
So that one has evolved, but yeah, like that is an interesting friendship. I kind of like it because like I feel like Ivy she often gets written as that like detached from humanity kind of thing, and I think Harley is maybe like the one like real human relationship she hangs on to.
It feels like Poison, like Harley's always trying to fight to become human and like fighting against her insanity.
Like Harley's trying to find like what her normal is.
And Poison Ivy is succumbing to what's becoming to her, and like I also think that they both come like there's an interesting power dynamic because Harley Quinn's like is going at what her needs are in a completely different way than what Poison Ivy is. Like I feel like they're both coming at any situation in a completely different way.
Yeah.
Are you giggling because I keep saying coming?
Yeah.
Just the context in which you do.
You
say
can't
it.
be indignant though because you started this.
That's ridiculous.
How dare you, sir?
My name is Brenton.
Wait for it. I've got more to say.
Yeah, no, I do like Harley and Ivy. So what do we have? Blue Beetle and Booster.
Yeah.
Harley and Ivy, and then I like Hal and Barry. I like that friendship.
I do like Halle Berry too.
and Halle Berry, but not as Catwoman. But
Also, Harrison Wells and Barry Allen, I think.
yeah, sure. If we want to throw the TV in there,
Because you know what,
absolutely.
that I feel like that dynamic is always really interesting, and I love how that each season they completely change it.
Yeah.
And yet they still seem to find each other, and I think that relationship is like it's very, very interesting and dynamic.
I think even in the ones where we know that like that particular version of Harrison is a good guy, I think there's always like a little bit of a tension that like ultimately he'll either intentionally choose himself over the friendship or he'll unintentionally let you down. Like HR had the threat of like maybe he doesn't mean to, but he could fail you.
Yeah.
He doesn't in the end, but like I think that was like the tension in there, and that kind of makes that friendship interesting.
And and like despite how much Barry fights it, he always seems to at the end find a friendship within him.
Yeah, I think for me, if we're using Harrison Wells, I like him and Cisco.
That's always a really interesting dynamic, especially if you're talking about like first two seasons, because like Cisco, like that hits him hard.
Yeah,
he's
and it
all about that
morphs.
song.
It morphs from
Hard.
it morphs from like colleagues to father son,
very quickly,
kind of back to colleague now. And certainly with like HR, they kind of flipped it so that Cisco was more the mentor.
Yeah.
He kind of helped him find his feet. So yeah, I kind of like that one too. Of the limited sort of stuff that you might have to like recall, do you have like a superhero friendship that you like? Is there anything from like any of the books we made you read that you kind of dig? This is all podcast gold, by the way. The silence.
Podcast Booster Gold.
Yeah.
Oh, who is Booster Gold's buddy?
Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle. We already said that one.
That's the one I like.
Okay. I'm glad,
Is there a
glad we
reason-
had this chat.
Is there a reason why?
Yeah, no, it was good. Josh Gill also wants to know what's your favorite villain friendship and why.
I think this is where I was going to bring Harley and Ivy up, actually.
Oh, someone read ahead.
Yeah, I know.
Someone did his reading.
I think I would say that. Villain friendships are tough sometimes because...
You mean villains with each other or villains with the superhero?
I mean, I guess it could go either way, yeah.
Because obviously Batman and Joker is a great one, if that's the pairing.
I don't know if we... I mean, they certainly have some kind of...
They are super best friends.
They have a relationship to each other. I don't know that I'd classify it as friendship
I would.
based on...
Joker would totally die for Batman.
But is that friendship or is that self-serving because he knows that he kind of doesn't have an existence without him?
No, I think that's what friendship's all about.
Self-serving?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Richard and I are lucky friends.
We all picked each other like idiots.
That's actually kind of interesting. Yeah, that idea of maybe a hero and a villain who are friends. I mean, in that case, I might say, and maybe you would agree with me, Colin, Batman and Two-Face. Because of the Harvey that's still kind of in there. I mean, obviously, Batman is always trying to bring him in, but I think he knows that Harvey's in there in some way. So I think you can probably make the argument for that.
I think you could even make the argument, though, that a really great villain and like villains like friendship would be Harvey Dent and Two-Face.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, because Harvey is also a villain in and of himself.
He is, and like,
He really is.
But like, even though his good decisions are based on his Harvey Dent side, I mean, regardless, he's still not a good person, and you kind of find that out, and that's what leads him to be able to even become Two-Face. But I feel like both Two-Face and Harvey Dent are helping each other.
Yeah.
I mean, more Two-Face for Harvey Dent, but that's what that relationship is. It's a codependent relationship. I mean, they are two separate people.
Super toxic one too.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because Harvey Dent has such like holier than thou kind of bullshit vibe ego thing going on.
Well, certainly in the Long Halloween, which you read,
and then having Two-Face as like the excuse to do this shit, like you're so bang on with that. It's a perfect pairing.
I think we've all had the friendship like that, where like you know that it's wrong, but you let that friend's voice be the excuse to do the thing that you know is wrong. Right?
No,
we've all been there.
No, I don't want to do it, but tequila made me.
Yeah, like I think there's an element of that. I mean, obviously not to the extreme of Two-Face, but there's definitely something in there that I think is relatable. I'm trying to think of. I think since we keep talking about the TV shows, I kind of like. One of the things I do like on Arrow is what they've done with the relationship between Oliver and Slade, like of the Green Arrow and Deathstroke. They have a pseudo friendship that veered into like archenemy territory, and
Would you say it's pseudo?
Susudio friendship, yeah. Just like Phil and Peter Gabriel, and
A pseudo friendship.
yeah. Yeah, so I would also throw that one in, like the DC TV Arrow and Deathstroke friendship is definitely one. Anything else that you could think of?
No, I think
That's tough. The villain hero one, but that's interesting. I kind of wish I had more of it. Actually, Flash and like the Rogues, like the official team called the Rogues, which is like Captain Cold, Heatwave, Mirror Master.
Captain Cold specifically,
Weather
even,
Wizard. I mean, certainly on TV they played this up, but even in the comics, they kind of have an understanding. Like the Rogues in the comics have a code of conduct. They don't kill.
yeah.
And things like that. And they like don't get children involved or stuff like that. Like there's a bit
Anything
of like
to keep the Flash out of it, basically.
because all they want to do basically is just like rob banks. The Rogues have never tried to take over the world or like anything like that. So they have a bit of an understanding. And when like Gorilla Grodd invades or whatever, the Rogues are the first to team up with the Flash to save their city. So yeah, actually that's a good one too, I think. Yeah.
What about Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy?
Oh yes, that famous team up. Yeah, that one.
Plants tend to not do well in the cold.
It makes zero sense. He's like, my plan is to cover the world in ice.
I have zero
and my plan
chill.
is to cover the world in vines.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, let's see how this goes.
Imagine that sitcom.
Yeah.
Just two wacky kids trying to make it work. In New York.
Freeze is obviously the Balky in that situation.
But we also know that friendship doesn't work because Uma Thurman says, as I said to Lady Freeze as I pulled her plug, this is a one-woman show. I mean, I can't quote Batman and Robin.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Was it Uma Thurman?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Poison Ivy.
I thought
She looked good.
I thought it was who was Nicole Kidman?
No, that's Batman Forever, and she plays a psychiatrist called Chase Meridian, who basically just wants to have sex with Batman.
Wow, who doesn't? Really?
Well, that one was Val Kilmer, though.
So, no.
Again, a stand.
Interesting.
Sure.
Dude,
You're a man of contradictions. Colin.
He was Doc Holliday. Come on, give me a break. At one point. Also, Josh Gill, he's just lining them up. Dick had Wally, Tim had Connor. Who do you think Damien's best friend is going to be?
Right. So yeah, Dick Grayson and Wally West. So the original Robin and the original Kid Flash.
Yeah, no, I got that.
They're best friends. for people at home who might not be as knowledgeable about DC Comics as you now are.
Intern.
Which
DC.
is just a crazy sentence to say out loud. Tim Drake, who was the third Robin, and Connor Kent, Connell, the clone Superboy that we've talked about, they were best friends. So Damian, Batcow is not his best friend.
Oh, man.
I have this sneaking suspicion that if the writing continues long enough, if these characters have some staying power, that Damian Wayne and the younger Wally West, the current Kid Flash, might end up being friends. They have a very contentious relationship. Wally West was on the Teen Titans. Damian kicked him off for no reason. Well, kind of for no reason. A little earned, but not really. And they kind of hate each other, but I feel like they might be setting it up to come around. So it's another Robin Kid Flash friendship. The other one I could see working is obviously Damian Wayne and Raven, because they're both morose, preteens basically. I could see that one being a good friendship, but yeah, I kind of have a suspicion that for Damian it might be Kid Flash, or I liked Goliath was this kind of bat dragon creature that he went on adventures with for a little bit when he was in the mountains. Goliath was kind of a fun character. But again, I don't know if that counts because he was almost more of a pet. So I think, I think my answer is going to be the new Wally West.
Is that it?
I think that's it.
Oh my God, we did it.
Oh, yeah.
That's episode 26. Next week,
Hooray.
we're going to the insanity of
Darkness.
of recording 12 episodes at
we're
once
locking-
with drinks between them all.
We're locking the doors and we're going
Keeping the
crazy.
stank in.
So if you don't like the first episode, wait till the 12th.
Yeah, you'll love it.
You're going to hate it. You'll either love it or hate it.
Yeah, we're waiting to see those numbers either skyrocket or plummet.
Exactly. So make sure that you send in any
Or
questions you
do
have.
both.
Yeah, that's right.
All the questions you have, possibly that you can think of. You can do it through all of our social media accounts, kind of
Over on Facebook at,
Dr. DC Podcast.
on Twitter at
Dr. DC.
Don't ask questions on Instagram, just like our pictures at Instagram at.
unless you're KCross202 for life.
For life. Dr. DC Podcast.
Or you can send us an email.
DrDCPodcast@gmail.com.
And you can go to our website.
DrDCPodcast.com or .ca.
And make sure you go to iTunes, give us a 5-star review and a what Colin does. So that helps us out. And we like to make Colin say funny things. No one's done that in a while. It'd be cool if you did that. I think you're pretty cool.
Do you know what my favorite recurring bit on this show is? Is the increasing desperation of Richard's voice when he gets to this part of the episode.
He's so tired of writing them.
It's more fun to me than Ukrainian Popeye was.
Oh my god.
But yeah, and send those questions and they could be about any sort of corner
Absolutely
of
anything.
DC Comics. It could be
The movies, the TV shows,
Comic books.
It could be how we came to comics. It can be about things we've enjoyed or what's our favorite episode of something or yeah. So any of those questions count. Please send them in and we'll go through as many as we can, as well as some backlogged questions that we haven't gotten to from previous weeks as well.
awesome.
Yeah, we've been backed up. Backing it up.
We're going to back those apps up.
Come on, give me the comments. Gonna back that apps up.
Nice. Wait for our albums to drop in the new year.
Oh, and then I'll reiterate, make sure that you send those questions and hashtag DOCMAS, DOCMAS.
That's right.
Well, fuck you, you're not my friend.
Oh, that's such an inside baseball. Adios.
Oh, that's all sad stuff today.
All the superheroes, they always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure, they are men of might.
Well, you can tell by the way I use my walk on woman's way.
No, you're not.
I live it just in the boat. Now live with this since I was born. No, it's alright. You okay? You can take the other way. Look at I try, do what I say. Say my lips don't fade up, man. Whether you're a brother, whether you're a mother, you're staying alive. Staying alive. Feel the sunny brick.
Oh, just okay.
We're gonna move right along.
Loser.